All right, Shalom. Um, all right, it's making the video stop pausing. I just wanted to make sure everything good. Yo, Shalom, Shalom. Health and blessing and prosperity to everybody out there on this beautiful day. Um, I was watching this dude's video, man. This dude made a good video, man. Nah, this dude right here, right? Nah, anyway, when I did the video last time. This is something that stuck, right? They sent them over to Brazil, right? The Portuguese called these white Moors albinos and attempted to take some of them prisoners in the wars and carry them over to Brazil to work, for they're very strong, right? And, attempted to take some. I'm going to prove that they did do it, okay? Since they want to be unsure, right? They're not sure. They attempted to. Okay, if they attempted to, how do we have such thing as the Amazonian Jews? This has been bothering me for a while. I did a search about the Jewry a while ago and seeing that they're in all these different places and like, okay, so South America, how do you explain having white people down there, right? Okay, they just told you they sent the albinos to Brazil to work as slaves. Okay, so sent them to Brazil to work. So it made me think Amazonian Jews, right? Amazonian Jews, right? Are the Jews of the Amazon. Oh, there's Jews in the Amazon. Of course. But they're going to give it away. It gives it away right here what happened and how they ended up there. Okay. Are the Jews of the Amazon, particularly in the Amazon basin, cities and river villages of Brazil and Peru? Many are of mixed ancestry, descending from Moroccans. Okay, we know who the Moroccans are. Okay, and blah blah blah. Sure, they'd mix with Indians. Sure, they did. They're found mainly in Belém. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Do we have to Let's look up Belém real quick. I thought I had everything together that I wanted to have together, but let me go ahead and just show this real quick. Using my wife's computer, her stuff is all messed up too, just like mine. I can't on her computer access Google directly for some reason. I can't on my computer record video, so I gotta go back and forth between the two. No, not that. Look, let's see the etymology. They're gonna claim that it's a Hebrew word, oddly enough. Okay, but we know what it is. It's Balaam, right? It's Balaam. The vowels are interchangeable in Hebrew, right? So there we see. The Amazonian Jews are found mainly in Balaam, Brazil. Okay? And Santa RM and Alan Quiquer, another fucking Brazilian word. Obedios makes me think of Obed Edom. Obed is a Hebrew word as well, meaning master. And Manaus in Brazil and Iquitos in Peru. Okay? But here it is. Okay? Moroccan Jewish migrants, all men arriving during the rubber boom. Okay, do migrants not bring wives and children? Do migrants arrive? Migrants might arrive to work in a rubber boom, but migrants bring wives and children. They were all men. That tells me they were sent to work. They were slaves. They were the albinos or white Moors that were taken prisoner and carried to Brazil by the Portuguese. Okay, the Portuguese at one time had an identity, and there might and we've seen also that the real Portuguese are still around, ruling but hidden. But the history of Portugal, Spain, and Morocco is so interconnected. There have been so many battles between Portugal and Morocco, or Spain and Morocco, and I'm gonna show. I have another video coming up that I'm gonna get to bust out today. That's gonna show you another interesting thing about Portugal and their identity, because their identity has been supplanted. They have been, we know all this, but it's just very confusing, because what I'm starting to believe is that the Portuguese are the Moroccans. Okay. Um, So showed you that they're in Belém, Brazil. Interesting enough. There's also a Tower of Belém in St. Vincent, Lisbon, Portugal. Okay. And okay, I got some other things to show you that I found last night, but I'm gonna go ahead and hold off on that for a second and show you this. The Battle of the Three Kings. Now, there was a man recently that showed the Portuguese to have moved their royal family to Brazil in 18 something. KLM history, right? Shout out to you, like your videos. But this, I just have to show this because something very interesting is going on here. As usual, the history is being hidden. You want to help me, little dude? You want to help me? I'm going to teach you all about history and the Most High. You're going to learn all this. Tell them. Zion, your Eloha reigneth. What is this? What just happened? My wife's computer going crazy today. Oh, what you mad at? All right, give me a second, guys. Let me pause this. Oh, and you're itching your hand. Okay, I'm back. I think. Yep, I'm back. Okay, so KLM history did a video about King John of Portugal, and come here, buddy. Come here. I know. And how he had moved the Portuguese royal family to Brazil in 18 something. Okay, but I've been dabbling in Portuguese history, and this Battle of the Three Kings has some information that might be contrary to the royal family having been moved, or at least the who is the identity of this royal family in Portugal might have been Moroccans. Okay, that would make sense, right? What he say? Moved the so that would be their explanation for the whites down in Brazil once again, because they moved the Portuguese royal family, which if they were Moroccans after this battle, which I'm gonna show you right now, that the entire Moroccan royal family was killed off in this battle. So I assume they're taken over by Morocco at that point, and whatever happened in, well, I don't know, man. So he showed the pictures. They're still melanated people. I don't know. But we're gonna show you this battle of Alicer Quibir, which is the battle of the Three Kings. Okay. Just why isn't it moving? Okay. Battle, also known as Battle of the Three Kings or Battle of blah 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 in Morocco, Battle of Alicer in Portugal. Okay. Grand Castle in Arabic was fought in northern Morocco near the town of that on 4 August 1578. The combatants were the army of the deposed Moroccan Sultan with his ally, the King of Portugal, Sebastian, and a large Moroccan army, nominally under the new Sultan of Morocco. Okay. The Christian king, Sebastian, had planned a crusade to help him recover his throne. But his uncle had taken it from him with the Ottoman support. So it was a faction of the Moroccans that were allied with Ottomans against a faction of the Moroccans that were allied with Portugal. and some other so-called Christian nations. The defeat of Portugal and attendant death of the childless Sebastian led to the end of the Aviz dynasty and the integration of the country in the Iberian Union. It's just very questionable about who these people really are. I don't know. Okay, because I'm going to show you some more interesting stuff about who joined the Moors in the Iberian Union or in Spain in that time. Because they're saying that they were defeated by the Moroccans and then they joined into the Iberian Union, which was also Moroccans at that time. In 1578, France, no, wait, Spain was still under Moorish rule, but they weren't because that ended in 1492, right? Okay, sorry. Baby's having allergies today, having trouble with allergies. Okay, so in the integration of the country into the Iberian Union for 60 years under the Philippine dynasty, and this Philippine dynasty is what the Philippines are named after, by the way, in a dynastic union with Spain. Okay. Yeah, I want to continue at some point on the Portuguese history book, the old 1500, because not because, but all the while it has a lot of history of the Portuguese in the East Indies in so-called India, um, which I kind of skipped over because it just wasn't focused on what I was focusing on at the time. But I definitely want to get back into the book, but you know, we'll see, man. It's just a lot of information. You got to go where the information leads you, I think. And I don't have time to make videos every day, so even though I would like to. Okay, Sebastian, who would later be known in Portugal as the Desired, was the son of the Infante Dom John, son of John III of Portugal, and Joanna, daughter of the Emperor Charles V. His father died before he was born, and he became king at the age of 3 after the death of his grandfather. He was educated almost entirely by Jesuits, by his guardian tutor Mensis. Is that what that says? Nice name, dude. And by Catherine of Austria, sister of Charles V. If you ever look at the history of the Habsburg dynasty, man, they were so deformed from fucking inbreeding and stuff. They were a mess. These people were disgusting. I want that to be known publicly, that's how I feel about these people. And okay, so some, judging him after his defeat, allege that under these influences, his youthful idealism soon mutated into religious fanaticism. Although he never joined the Holy League, blah blah blah. Who gives a shit? The Portuguese Cortez. I want to show y'all what that is real quick. Real quick, real quick. Just for the hell of it. Assembly of Representatives, States of the Realm. It's the nobility, you know, and the bourgeois. Okay. Um, where are we at? Okay, here we are. Okay, so asked Sebastian to go to Morocco to stop the turmoil of the advancing Turkish military presence. So basically, these Turks invaded northern Africa and invaded Europe as well. This might be the identity of the. I don't know. I don't want to get too far into anything. I'm gonna just go with what I got. Presence because the Ottomans would be a threat to the security of Portuguese coast and commerce with Guinea. Brazil and the Atlantic Islands. But it was only when this dude went to Portugal and asked for Sebastian's help in recovering his throne from his uncle that Sebastian decided to mount a military effort. I can read fast, but I can't read and breathe at the same time. I'd rather breathe. Damn. Sebastian felt driven to revive lost glories, you know, influenced by the events of the defense of the Moroccan siege. Okay, so they began to prepare for intervention in Morocco. Okay. The policy was not only supported by the mercantile bourgeois, as it would benefit commerce in this area, but also by the nobility. Okay. Up to that time, Portuguese action in Africa had been confined to small expeditions and raids. Okay. Um, Christian, who gives a shit? Sebastian led a successful raid on Tangier, which encouraged him to grander design. Um, he gave support, who engaged in civil war to recover the throne. He was aided by the Ottomans. Despite the admonitions, he had become very cautious after the Battle of the Jerba. Sebastian was determined to wage a military campaign. He used much of their wealth to equip a large fleet and gather an army, including several nationalities of foreign soldiers. Including several nationalities of foreign soldiers, 2,000 volunteers from Spain, 3,000 mercenaries from Flanders and Germany, as well as 600 Italians. You know, messes. I'm not going to go too far. Initially recruited to aid the invasion of Ireland. Okay, so now we're getting Ireland mentioned. Um, this whole search has been to find when exactly the lie took place and the melanated rulers of old were supplanted by the non-melanated or white people now. But in my mind, I keep thinking white bad, melanated good. But I think it will behoove me to stop thinking that way because these melanated people did a lot of bad things. Okay, anyway. Under the leadership of the English adventurer Thomas Stuckley, it said that the expeditionary force numbered 500 ships and the army numbered 18,000 men, including the flower of the Portuguese nobility. Okay, thanks. Nice to know. All right, we'll get through this real quick. After haranguing his troops from the windows of the church, Sebastian departed in 1578. He landed in Portuguese Morocco, and he was joined by Abu Abdallah with an additional 6,000 Moorish allied troops. Okay, and marched into the interior. The emir, who was gravely ill, had meanwhile collected a large army, the emir of the Ottomans, the Turks. Rallying his countrymen to jihad against the Portuguese invaders, the two armies approached each other, camping on opposite sides of the river. Okay, here's the battle. August 4th, Portuguese and Moorish were drawn up in battle array, and Sebastian rode around, encouraging the ranks, but the Moroccans advanced on a broad front, planning to encircle his army. The Sultan had 10,000 cavalry on the wings, and in the center he had placed the Moors who had been driven out of Spain and thus bore a special grudge against the Christians. Despite his illness, the Sultan left his litter and led his forces on horseback. The battle started as both sides exchanged several volleys of gunfire from musketry and artillery. Stucky, commanding the Portuguese center, was killed by a cannonball. The Ottoman Moroccan cavalry advanced and began to encircle the Portuguese. Both armies soon became fully engaged in the melee. The flanks of the Portuguese army began to give way to the Moorish cavalry, and eventually the center became threatened as well. Seeing the flanks compromised and having lost its commander early in battle, the Portuguese center lost heart and was overcome. The battle ended after nearly 4 hours of heavy fighting and resulted in the total defeat. Come on. Stupid shit. Total defeat of the Portuguese, an Abu Abdullah army with 8,000 dead, including the slaughter of almost the whole of the country's nobility. Okay? In 1578, almost the whole of the country of Portugal's nobility was slaughtered in the Battle of the Three Kings. Okay? Were they replaced with white, Moorish Moroccans. Um, I don't know. With that video showing John or whoever it was later on in 1800 still being melanated, I don't know. It's hard to sort through all of this fucking horseshit and know the truth. It's extremely difficult and extremely confusing. And that's why I was talking about, like, let me try to get rid of some of this brain training, mind control bullshit that I've been fed with over the years, you know. But it's funny because in my own personal life today, I'm actually doubling down on my mistrust of my own people because I keep having bad experiences with them, man. I'm gonna keep it with 100 with y'all, man. Okay, so 15,000 taken prisoner. Perhaps 100 survivors went to the coast. And it don't say survivor of the nobility. It says the battle ended, the result of the total defeat of Portuguese, including the slaughter of the nobility, and 15,000 taken prisoner. New thought. See that? That's a semicolon. That means new thought. So this 100 survivors is not tied to the nobility. It means 100 survivors out of the whole entire fucking army, okay? The body of King Sebastian, who led the charge in the mist, was then cut off and never found. Um, the Sultan died in the army. The legacy, they're not going to tell you what the real legacy is. It sounds the legacy to me is that Morocco took over Portugal at this point. And that would be the logical legacy. Um, and I'm tired of the fucking lies, bro. Look, they're gonna tell you all kind of stuff about the Iberian Union, the union with Spain, but Spain is not who you think either. I'm gonna show you some information in my next video about. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give away a hint. I'm gonna give you away a hint of what I'm gonna show you in the next video because of what it has. Okay, so I was doing some research and I found that there was Vikings known as Majus and that they raided Seville. Okay, that's gonna be the next video. But what I want to show you here is just that something interesting. Seville, formerly known as Ishbilia, if you can see that. And careful, buddy, don't fall down. What are you doing? Go out, back up on mom. I'll be right there. Okay, so Ishbilia, right, is Seville. It's right here. The Majus Vikings. Okay, very interesting. I'm going to show you all about them. I don't want to give away too much, but here it is. Ishbilia, nowadays Seville. Okay. Um, so we're going to go over here. Ishbilia. Um, anyhow, there's I don't see where it went, but Viking raid. There, here it is. Ishbilia, or there's another spelling. Okay. Ishbilia. Okay. When we look up Ishbilia, it is a city in Saudi Arabia. Okay. The Spanish are the Arabs, are the Vikings, are these people, the Goths. Um, and history is not what they say, right? We're starting. I'm just figuring this out now. I think a lot of people have been knowing this for a long time. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but they did a good job confusing the faces, man, because this shit is confusing. And I'll be back at you with that Viking video about the Majus, man. And peace and blessing and shalom.